right talk, we drill deeper. That's right. And I'm not looking for oil. I'm just looking for the truth. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, especially when you can be so many other places, like the pool, on the road, stuck on that traffic, right? But I'm glad you're here with me. The smart people are heading out. We're still here. The stiffs are here, but we're here with you. Look, we're going to start right away. And I want to warn you, in a couple of moments, we're going to have some graphic descriptions of what this character is accused of having done. We're talking about something that's been all over the papers. It's been all over the blogs. It's on every television channel. But here, I can tell you, I know Carlos Bustamante personally because I've been at his office lately, and I can tell you that I am familiar with his track record in Orange County, and I had no idea what was going on down there, at least what some people are saying and accusing him of. So keep it right here because you really need to listen up to what's going down. And I've got an expert, attorney Paul J. Wallin, who is going to join me in just a couple of moments. Let me just give you the headline. Carlos Bustamante, a Southern California City Council member here in the city of Santa Ana and the former Orange County Public Works Administration manager, making $178,000 a year, is accused today of having committed some very serious acts. Allegedly, he's facing now 12 felonies, including sexual battery, stalking, sex felony counts of false imprisonment. He's facing also some single counts of attempted sexual battery by restraint, felony count of grand theft by false pretense. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. All of this happening up until he resigned his post in 2011. Some of the descriptions, yep, they're graphic. Look, when the DA today spoke to media and he detailed what this story was all about, I think even those of us who are used to these kinds of things, our jaws drop because it's quite a bit. Let's listen in to Tony Rackauckus, District Attorney in Orange County, talking today about some of these charges.
Who did Bustamante target? Women of similar ethnic backgrounds, age range, and physical characteristics. He had a type. County employees who were subordinate to the defendant. Women who were emotionally vulnerable. What kind of things did we hear from the victims? Each of the victims was afraid that if they reported the sexual assault, they would be committing career suicide.
That is very important. When we talk to Paul J. Wallin, the attorney who's our expert today, he's going to detail some of those implications of the charges, but he's also saying, look, don't rush to judgment because he is still entitled to due process. But let's listen further. The DA says he has statements from the scared victims.
I was afraid of him because I saw how he would help other people get rid of people and fire people, and I was afraid that that would happen to me. Another. We just didn't really think anything would happen because of who Carlos is. Another. He kept talking about how he was in law enforcement. You know, he had a baton in his office and he pulled it out. Another. He just seemed like he was so completely untouchable. He had Arnold Schwarzenegger at his house. I mean, I know that Arnold's just a person, but you know what I mean. He was like, drop names all the time.
When I told you that I visited his office with Carlos Bustamante, we were talking about a congressional race, and I had the opportunity to get some insight from him. But again, a very different side of the coin that we're hearing today. And now, just one more soundbite. I want to save some of the others for the next segment because I want to get a chance to talk to attorney Paul J. Wallin from Orange County, who took time today to help us understand this maze of legal charges. Let's listen to number 3, where he says that there was a godlike attitude in Carlos Bustamante.
Carlos was very well connected, not just executive management here, but in the city, at the board level. Another quote. He was really close to our HR manager. Everyone's under Carlos pretty much. Everyone. He's like Mr. like God kind of thing.
You're going to hear more and more of those kinds of impressions. Look, if you are a woman working for someone who is doing something like this, but he knows he has the power of your employment over him, that is one powerful piece of leverage that some of these women are having to endure. So I want to talk right now with the attorney Paul J. Wallin, who has been tracking some of these accusations. Sir, what caught my eye about your statement, published reports today, is that you felt that maybe all this media hype is, what, a rush to judgment? How can you say that?
Oh, it's so clear. and it starts with your statement at the beginning of your show.
Okay.
You probably don't even remember you saying it, but I was sitting here listening, and you said, this character is accused of these things. And just by you saying that, it implies you've already made your decision. This character, you don't say that unless
you know, actually, no, and that's fine. And you know what, Paul? I invited you on the program, and I want you to say what you believe. Let me tell you something. I characterize him as that, and forgive me for the redundancy. I characterize him as a character because with all the stuff he's got going for him, you know, it's really foolish, and I can't explain how so many women are coming forward accusing him of the same thing. I mean, that's what to me is so foolish.
I know, and what you're really saying, sir, is you're assuming he's guilty, or you wouldn't be thinking that. And how does this all start?
Okay.
You know, we have a system of justice. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've represented over 1,000 school teachers who have been accused of this crime.
Okay.
And at least half of them were not guilty of anything.
Okay,
and
so let's go down the list.
In 100% of the cases, they're presumed guilty, not guilty because of the media, because this district attorney goes on television and tells
Oh, yeah, he's very good at that. He's very good at that.
Of course, no. And why does he do it? Why does he do it?
Well, before we get into that, Paul, help me understand the charges. Let's explain to the audience, really, and this is where you can be of great help. Explain to me this 6 felony counts of false imprisonment. He didn't put people behind bars, so what does it mean, false imprisonment?
It doesn't mean you don't have to put anyone behind bars. You just have to restrain them from going from one place to another, and you can be guilty of felony false imprisonment. The magnitude of the punishment that this man faces is astronomical. Not only is he facing up to 26 years in prison, but if he's convicted of any of these sex offenses, he will have to register as a sex offender under Penal Code Section 290 for the rest of his life.
We're talking with criminal defense attorney. Okay, we're talking with criminal defense attorney Paul J. Wallin from Orange County, who is from the firm Wallin. Is it Klarich?
That's right, Wallin and Klarich.
Wallin and Klarich, and I want you to know, fair disclosure to the audience, I reached out to you because I read your letter. I think it went to the Orange County Register, and you feel that even at this early hour, we're all wrong, we're all rushing to judgment. Is that correct?
Well, not only is that correct, but if we believe in our Constitution and the right of someone to be presumed innocent, we must do that. But instead, the entire media and everyone is already convicting him before there's been anything presented except a news conference, and the police timed this guy's arrest right before his city council meeting. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, because you get more attention. Okay, Paul, listen to this. I want you to listen to these bites from Tony Rackakis, and I want to get your reaction. Let's go to this one where the DA is saying that Carlos Bustamante allegedly groomed and wore down his victims.
We intend to prove that he groomed his victims and wore them down by repeatedly making sexual comments and advances. He verbally badgered, mentally harassed some of his victims by even referring to past sexual contact that he had with them or that he had against them. Called or emailed to lure victims to his office under the pretense of needing to speak with them. In other words, he would call somebody who was a subordinate and say, "Come into my office. We've got something to talk about," and they thought it would be work related.